Welcome to the Arrogant Designer Show and podcast. I'm PJ Corona, the Arrogant Designer. Let's start off with some Karen stories. So I like this one. So as a friend of mine, she was in the she's going to the post office. She was in line, and she'd been waiting about a half hour. And she goes up to the post office employee and says, "Hey, I need this and this. Can I borrow your pen? I just got to put my zip code in." And he goes, "Nope, next in line." And she, being the Gen Xer that she is, just says, "No, it just takes a second. I've been waiting a half hour. Give me your pen so I can write this in. You can put in the rest of the address while I do this. I'm not leaving." And he continued to, "No, you gotta leave. No, 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 no." And the other person came up behind her and she's like, "Look, no, I'm not leaving." Right. And then she went ahead and did her thing. And we go. So a Karen is not someone who tells a government employee to chill their jets and give me a pen so I can put my address, my zip code in, because you have to deal with people. So let me say this again, government folks, pull your head out of your ass and start acting like a fucking human being, because it's pissing the rest of us off and you're going to be on a short fucking leash. I'm not a big fan of AI, besides the stuff that I can do online, which I really like. But you folks, especially at the post office, especially at the city building departments, government departments, people I got to fucking deal with, got your head so far up your ass, you can smell what you ate for fucking dinner. Right? Stop it. Because AI, let me go back, AI is coming for your jobs, especially the post office, which should just be fucking eliminated. That is a job that someone else can do. Let 3 private companies do it, and away we go. Right. Look, everything you send can be scanned and done. I don't need to see what's at Walmart on a piece of paper. Right? I don't. So fuck you, post office. The next one is a buddy of mine's at Walmart. The greatest story there ever was to go see train wrecks. And I mean the fat asses and dumb shits at Walmart. Like I think in Australia, they actually have a page dedicated on the internet just for stupid shit, or people from Australia who are criminals and jackasses themselves. Thanks, Craig Jones. We do appreciate you putting on CJI. If you don't know who Craig Jones is, he's the world's second best grappler. And he's also just crazy and wonderful. And he's Australian. So let me say, I don't know what I was saying. What was I saying? Oh, senior moment. Okay. What were you saying, PJ? Anyways, Walmart. That's right. Australians love to watch the fat asses at Walmart. And again, on that, if you're a fat ass, lose some weight. Not chubby. I don't care about your fucking thyroid. I don't want to hear a fucking excuse. We got too many fat people in this world. Way too many. I don't remember there were a bunch of fat kids when I was a kid. There was 1 or 2, and they got roasted and bullied because they were fat. Hey, rightfully so. No one is above being ridiculed. It's good for your ego. But I was a fat kid, PJ. Hey, look, I was a little skinny kid with glasses who was the teacher's pet. So don't tell me about getting bullied and your ass kicked. Fuck you. Right? Okay. Next Karen story is at Walmart. So a friend of mine who happens to be black, I have 2 black friends, right? The quota we have is white people. Some people have more. Eminem has a bunch. Jokes, folks. They're just jokes. Relax. And my friend, who also I'm going to put that story in here too. He had his first white Christmas, which is a black person hanging out with white people on Christmas Eve. Anyways, he's at Walmart getting whatever he's getting. And lady in Walmart starts chewing the butt and making herself a Karen. And the line's all growing and everybody's grumbling. And my buddy, he's just like, hey, you got to stop that. We're all waiting. You want to do all that crap? You do it later. We're all waiting in here in line. You causing all kinds of problems. Pay your bill and move on. Right? So if you're at Walmart and you're being a douche, whether you're a customer or someone who works at Walmart, and I'm not saying the people at Walmart are of low intelligence or stupid, but I'm thinking it. They're not much help. They're not much help, most of them. But PJ, it's because Walmart doesn't pay them that good. Okay, great. You know what? We live in a world now that it doesn't matter where you are. You have the opportunity, if you work on or near a computer, to make more money. If you don't, and you don't have access to it, well, should have been born somewhere else, right? Let me tell you about my white privilege. Go suck a big one. There's no such thing. Racism. Not that I'm saying there's not racism, but I don't call it racism. It's called bias. Systemic racism, not even buying it for a second. Sorry. I don't agree. You know what? We're not going to solve all of these problems, folks. You know, you're going to nail yourself to that cross. No. Figure out, you know what? Again, I'm going to repeat this over and over. Find 12 people in your life, be grateful and generous with them, make a difference in their lives. That's it. Then the rest of the world will be a better place. As soon as we stop all this other crap, right? As soon as we stop all this other crap. Don't give people too much stuff. Don't give people too much stuff because you become a dick. You become a cunt, right? Too much power, any of it. The third one is close to my heart. This third Karen one. Oh, Karen is a bitch. So again, I'm an architect. I got to deal with the cities, especially City of LA, County of LA. I got a project. This project, now, whatever new checkers in there has decided that he wants or she wants or it wants or whatever pronoun they want. I don't give a rat's behind. That they want all kinds of stuff that doesn't need to be there. They need forms signed, all this stuff. Well, they emailed 2 of the forms, but the third form they didn't email, right? And look, I told the contractor, hey, I'll do the corrections, but you got to get all these forms signed. He doesn't get those other forms signed. I tell him this over and over and over, right? Forgetting the fact that the contractor left is ready for a month. Oh, I didn't look at it. I get it. Right? Didn't that up your email? You're not a tech guy. A lot of people aren't. I get it. Maybe the city should start a tech system for contractors. I don't know. I'm just thinking, I'm a real smart guy. Maybe I know what the hell's going on. Maybe it would be easy. Maybe if the city of LA had a way to do permits on the phone that was easy, they'd make more money. Maybe they would. Huh? You think City of LA, County of LA, any of the counties? You dumb shits. You couldn't get out of your way if a Mack truck was there. Fuck. Pieces of shit. Anyways, this guy emailed this guy, talked to, I maybe even called him. Weeks and weeks, we're still waiting for a silly form. Yep. That's where we're at, folks. Gen X might be able to solve this, or at least a little bit of it. I hope. And then you got Christmas. So let me, I'm trying. This is new for me. Just letting you know. I love this stuff. It's kind of fun. I like to talk, like to babble on. Maybe I'm interesting. Maybe I'm a little funny. Who knows? Maybe not to you. Theo Vaughn, not funny to me. He's just one of Joe Rogan's, posses. He wouldn't be crap without Joe Rogan if he didn't get that opportunity. But he's capitalized on it. But is he funny to me? Nah. He had the president of the United States on. Is that impressive? No. You know why? Because this kid watches the show. This kid thought it was funny. That's how the world works. Don't get your panties in a bunch because that happened. Don't get your panties in a bunch. The left and the right, there's not much. There's a difference between them. But let me tell you, the only reason I'm on the leaning a little bit right now is the censorship of the left was just overboard, and the wokeness was overboard, and the wars and the unhealthy pharmaceutical stuff, all that stuff. Like it all adds up. It all adds up, right? Okay. Okay. That's where we're at. That's where we're at. Look. Pay attention. Pay attention. I'm going to explain some things to you. I'm going to explain it. Ready for me to explain it? Okay, I'm going to explain it. I'm a moron. But I'm an older moron now. I'm an older moron, right? So that means, what does that mean? That means I got a little bit of wisdom, maybe. Just a tad, just a touch, just a little bit, like that. You know when you fart and it just goes, that's all I got. That's all you need, though. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. And I think that's why this, again, the problem for me is both of these parties are still, there's too much bureaucracy and there's too much BS. There's too much BS, you know? So, it's just, look, and I think I did one on AI and Christianity. My mom commented, she's a Christian. And look. I don't believe, I think Jesus is great. I think Buddha is great. I think any belief system you have is great, including, no, PJ, don't say it, Satanism. Oh, no, PJ, did you say that? Oh, how can you say that, PJ? The devil's got you. No, I believe in freedom of expression. And I think most Christians, I'm not a Satanist. By the way, I'm not a Satanist, never gone to any meetings. Do I think evil exists? Yes. Do I think there's other entities, spiritual things? Sure. I've experienced some of them. I believe in, I believe all kinds of crazy stuff. No, but I believe in science, PJ. Okay. All right. I get it. It's all right. You believe in the science. I've experienced too many things because of my old age to not say I don't know, because I don't know. I don't know. And neither do you. So pull your head out of your butt and let me keep explaining. So, anyways, let me go on to, oh gosh, I have to explain this White Christmas. This is just hilarious. So my buddy who's black, and I don't know if I don't like saying that, because I think it's funny as we talk about all the different races. I just think it's hilarious that we're so tribal, and that's one of the tribes that we, categorize people in. Because, there's categories of everything. There's categories of Asians, there's category of blacks, there's category of Mexicans and Latinas and blah, 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 blah. And white people's categories, oh my goodness. It's mind boggling sometimes. So look, my buddy he's black, lived in the black community. He really doesn't have a lot of white friends. I'm one of his first white friends, and we're really close now. And he's an Xer like me. He's a jiu-jitsu champion like me. He's a coach like me. We get along. We got a lot of things we get along. We met in less than a year ago, man. And we just clicked. I love to listen to the dude. He loves to listen to me. We comment. We get to critique each other. He's learning about what the white people are. And again, I'm joking, guys. What the white people are really like. So he didn't have anything to do Christmas Eve. So I was like, hey, I'll take you to Thai food. And I took one of my other white friends, and then we had Thai food. And then we went over to my other friend's house, who's a champion spearfish, world champion spearfisherman, and a real spiritual kind of guru guy like me. That's, me being into mushrooms is partly because of him. And we think along the same lines. And the way he explained, he's just a really good dude. And he's full of love. And he's gone through some shit in his life. He's had some serious things happen in his life, and he didn't let them affect they don't let him affect how he was. He dealt with those things. And again, I think it's again, I hate to keep saying it, and I don't hate, but I'm gonna say it. It's Gen X. Like we just been through the ringer, and we're all over 50 now, and it's just, hey, we're here. Let's keep going. Like I had a wonderful life. We all kind of think, hey, if we die tomorrow, well, that's the way it goes. Just like anybody over 50, we're kind of like that. Like I'd like to squeeze a little more, squeeze as much wonderful joy out of this, but the other crap, I'm not really interested in dealing with, right? Or having any more of. So I'm gonna watch myself with that stuff. And so my friend comes over, and I go to my buddy's house, and now he's got a unique situation. He's divorced, but him and his ex-wife did not sell the house, and the kids still live there, and they switch off a month. I mean, a week, stay in another place. So he stays a week at the place, and then they got a little apartment, and they switch off, so they're not next to each other because they're divorced. Like that they get divorced, you can't get along. Hey, don't throw out the baby with the bathwater. That's unusual for white people to do that, but it's probably one of the coolest things I've ever heard of because the kids are better for it. And so the kids are there, and he's cooking up some stuff, and he's got a new girlfriend who's there, and she happens to be Asian. She happens to spearfish. She's so beautiful and so funny. In his age, she's an Xer, and they're just like when you meet people and you're like, those people are meant to be together. Like that's what they are, and they're together. They're together, and it it's just super cool. And Claire, and my buddy is he's just tripping out on this because he doesn't drink, I don't drink, and they're kind of getting drunk, and we're having these nice these conversations that are really like. And again, I have no other way to say it besides white people conversations, because white people have like very very Cat Williams, that like if you're a black person, get you some black friends, right? It's kind of like we are like that. We are really very, we haven't had the stress a lot of times. It's because and there's white Mexican too, by the way. The whole American culture should be called like a whitish culture, like a off-white culture. Because what the reason it's like that is because we're not as tribal, and we don't have a lot of times we don't have the family expectations and the family bonds that say the Asian community does, or the Indian community does, or the Mexican, or like it's different. It's different if you can get that. And I don't know if I'm explaining it well or not. I don't give a shit. It's my fucking podcast. So Clint, we get done, and so my buddy's ex-wife comes in, and she's just doing what she's a wonderful lady. We had a great conversation the other day, and she's just doing what she's doing, and like for I could see that he was getting uncomfortable. My other white friend was getting comfortable because like, oh man, his ex-wife is here, and then the girlfriend's here, and the dude was just like, what do you need, man? What do you need? What do you need? And I'm the same way. I'm like, what do you need? What do you need? What do you need? Because we know, like, it's just the way, you know, I don't think we know women any better, but we know like, hey, she's got to get stuff done, and she's in this mood to get stuff done because it's Christmas Eve and her kids are doing something or whatever it was. Anyways, and then when we get done, we had a great time, leave, my buddy hugs my other buddy, my black friend, and he's not used to that. He's like, and like, I didn't know if like he's going to get upset about it. Cause a lot of people don't like to be touched. And my buddy's not like one of those guys, like, like when jujitsu in the community, like you hug everybody, like, cause when you're fighting, you're next to them. So it's like a big deal. You shake hands, you hug, and it's like, I love you, man, and come kick my ass later. So, and then we leave, and it's like, he tells me the next day, dude, I told all my black friends I wanted to saw a white people Christmas, and they didn't argue, and the ex-wife came over, and like that would never happen in a black Christmas. I'm just laughing so hard. I'm like, really? He goes, no, like we don't do that, brother. We don't do that. Like we arguing over stuff. We're not having it. Like, and again, this is just what happened. So don't get upset if you watch this and be like, "Oh, you PJ, you're being racist and all this stuff and white privilege." I'm not. I'm not. I'm not. Okay. So it was just super cool to have someone else experience, another culture, and be like, it's just so different. Not better or worse, it's just different, right? And it was really cool, right? And that was just my Christmas Eve. And it was just a great Christmas because me and my daughter. So I was like, hey, my daughter goes, Dad, I didn't get anything for Christmas. I was like, that's the exact gift I wanted. I didn't want anything. That was the perfect gift. And I gave my kid money, a couple days before Christmas. I was like, do you want anything? She's like, nope. That's the exact gift I wanted. And that's kind of how some people are. Like, I like Christmas, like the lights and stuff, but it's not like, I can't wait for Christmas. Not with any of the holidays. I just have a great day every time. And then I got to tell you this last story because it's just hilarious to me. Like, look, my life is sometimes a train wreck, and sometimes it's just right on the tracks, and that's how our lives go. I think that's kind of where everyone's life is. Like a third of the time, your life is like right on the train tracks. Everything's going great. Dude, having a good time. And then a third of the time, you're like, oh man, we hitting a little weather here. There's some snow on the road. We got to go through this. Oh, and then a third of the time, you're like, it's just a train wreck. You're like, we had a train wreck. Oh my goodness. Oh, we're stopped. Oh, what are we gonna do? How are we gonna fix this? And then it gets fixed. And a friend of mine told me that, like, your life's kind of in thirds. And I notice it's kind of like that. It's noticed, like, just for me personally, the last couple months, like the winter months sometimes, but I have like a month or two in a row sometimes where just like everything, like, you're just not on point and things aren't working. And I look back at my life, and that's kind of how it goes. Sometimes it's years. Sometimes you have a couple years like that, right? When you're younger, maybe. I don't know. But it's just kind of like my daughter got that. She got that the other day. She's like, I know that the stress, the situation's gonna pass, right? It's gonna pass. And if I could give you any wisdom, it would be like, this too shall pass. The good times are gonna pass. The mediocre times are gonna pass. The bad times are gonna pass. They are. They really are. So be prepared. Be prepared. I'm explaining all of this to you. And the last one, I have to share this because it's just personal, but I think it's hilarious. Look, my dad's 80, and I love him, but he wasn't a parent, and he never has been a parent. He is who he is, and he's got a lot of problems. He's got a lot more problems than most people who are almost 80. Let me put it that way. He got a lot more stress than a lot of people who are 80, right? I don't care who you are. If you drink more than 2 drinks a day, you got a problem with alcohol. You're in love with the bottle. Same thing goes for marijuana. I hate to tell you, every day, I don't think that's a good thing. Marijuana, every other day, every 3 days, that might not be too bad. The weekends, no problem. Mushrooms, every 3 days, if you're these are my opinions. You get to have any opinion you want. And if you're my friend and I have the time and you haven't pissed me off, I'll listen to it. Just kidding. I won't listen to it. Maybe on Tuesday from 1 to 1:15, I have some time if you're out there. No. So, that being said, because I'm not saying my dad's a drunk. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying my dad smokes too much marijuana. I'm not saying when I was 10 years old, I had to ask my dad to not smoke marijuana in front of us. I'm not saying those things. My dad married a Mexican national, 2000, long time ago, 14 years. His marriage hasn't gone how he expected, I don't think. Right? And his wife, one of her pregnant kids, one of her kids that just had a baby, and the youngest one showed up at his door at 2 a.m. Christmas Eve. And he was surprised. Why was he surprised? Why was he surprised? Because he probably been dodging. I don't know. All I know is I've been trying to get a hold of him for 3 weeks and haven't been able to get a hold of him. But if you don't answer your phone and your wife, who lives in a different state, is trying to get a hold of you and you ignore her, and then you're surprised when she shows up at 2 a.m. on Christmas Eve on your door. Yeah. Yeah. So I want to tell you folks out there. So it's just fodder and humorous to me. Because you see people with stress on there. Like, I get stressed out. We all get stressed out. And I don't know if you've had this in your life, but I have, where you're so stressed out that you think the world's ending. You're white. You're white. You're not like you're white knuckling it. I don't get there anymore. I've been there enough. I don't care what happens to me the rest of my life. I'm not white knuckling it. I don't care. I'll be all right. No matter what happens, no matter what situation, I'll be fine. And if I'm not, I won't. But I'm not going to that place. No matter how bad it gets, I'm not going to that place again. I'm going to find the way to be a Buddha, a Christ, an atheist, whatever you want to call it. Calm as a Hindu cow, right? Right. My religion, my spirituality is jujitsu. It is. It works for me. Whatever works for you, great. I'd love to hear about it. Not really. I'm kidding. There's people I like to listen to. But I just saw that, like, I saw an 80-year-old man almost, he's almost 80, with that white knuckle, the face. How am I going to deal with this? I don't have a car big enough for these people. Right? Why don't you help? Why don't you help your dad, PJ? It's not my job anymore. You got a wife. She's supposed to be helping him, and he's supposed to be helping her. And what I mean supposed to, I mean, hey, that's a choice. Right? 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 And I don't think it's uber positive to be relishing in someone's suffering. It's not bad. It's just not something I want to do all the time. Or but it's funny. You don't got to relish it, but it's funny. That's where comedy comes from. Right? And especially if you're that age and you're still doing stupid shit, dude, like when I'm that age, if I'm 80 years old, hopefully I'm around my grandkids. I'm still helping my daughter or helping somebody else who's got kids. Cause I'm not a drunk. I'm not addicted to marijuana. Probably addicted to mushrooms. I hate to tell you. I really like the mushrooms. But I can live with that. Right? And that doesn't mean, look, there's functioning meth addicts out there. There's functioning. I get it. I get it. Don't throw stones at a glass house. I certainly have one. But that shit was funny to me. Like, answer your phone, man. Don't try not to avoid. I'm a procrastinator. I just finished some stuff that I've been putting off, been stressing me out. Wasn't white knuckling to me, but I finished it finally. And that feeling when you complete something is so awesome. And we're about the end of the year. So we're completing it. Hopefully we're all completing some stuff. We're going to complete 2024. We're going to get over to 2025, which actually doesn't start till April 1st because that's the day of resurrection. We actually have a 13-month calendar. The Ethiopian calendar is supposed to be on. The calendar that we're on now, this 12-month calendar, is meant to keep us out of sync with nature, right? And the moon. And the moon's hollow. Did I just freak you out? Probably, right? Probably, right? Yeah. Meant to. But I get to have my conspiracy theories just like you do. Right? And that's the great thing about being a human being. Is if you I hope when my young friends, my Gen Zs, my daughters, like the Gen Zs seem to be doing all right. They're kind of mulling through all this stuff and going, oh, maybe. Maybe pronouns aren't a good thing. Maybe, I don't know. I'm not, like I'm nobody. So I appreciate you listening to this podcast. I enjoy doing it. I hope that it's only two things I want out of this podcast. That's it. Two things. Or what I want to be. Monetary is a different thing. Monetary, I got a couple. If I'm not making money at this in a couple of years, then I won't. I don't know if I do it. Maybe I will. Maybe I'm talking to people in the future. I don't know. Who knows? But I think I would. I want it to be, when you listen to this podcast, I want it to be interesting and I want it to be funny. A little bit of both. And I hope that does it for you. And maybe every now and then you get a tidbit, a nugget in there of something that helps you. And let me say one more thing before I go, because I talked to somebody about the situation with my dad, and they said, that there's differences in how people say things and look at things. And look, no matter what, and I get it, honor your father and mother. All these wise books say that. Great. I don't think that rings true. I think you can if you wish. It's a choice. I think that guilt, fear, insecurity, all those emotions are shitty emotions, and just throw them away. Guilt is worthless. It's utterly, shame is worthless. All that stuff. Being straight with yourself, that works for me. But I don't have a commitment to do things unless I say I have a commitment to do things. Right? And I'm certainly not going to do things for people who don't appreciate it, because that's what I get out of it. I get to be appreciated, and I get to see, if I'm doing things, I get to be respected just a little bit. But I don't feel any of those things, I'm not doing them. I'm not doing them for my dad. He's not my job anymore, nor was he ever. But that guilt will keep checking in. The guilt will keep checking in. And I'll continue to have to let it go. Being a human all of us have a war in our mind every day, the battle for who's the base personality. And that's difficult. And I hope I do it every day, and I win almost every day now. I didn't for a long time. I've been suicidal. I've tried suicide. I've been on the drugs, all those things. It's easy to go down that dark place as an artist. But anyways, I just want to leave you that. Yeah, thanks for listening. You're my favorite.